What common data should the up-and-coming professional in a modern-day business examine to move themselves forward and not be left behind in the technological wake of the marketplace? Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. You are invited to join my son Eli and me as we discuss how technological advances affect both individuals and businesses in the marketplace. Now, you know, big guy, there's a wise old saying that the only thing constant about business is change. That adage has never been truer than it is today. The reason is obvious. Technology is advancing faster than it ever has before. Experts tell us that the amount of knowledge in the world is doubling every 2.5 to 3 years. And you know what that means? It means that people entering the marketplace and businesses currently in the marketplace must consult a crystal ball and visualize the changes in direction embraced by the marketplace. Now, before we discuss what types of changes are likely to occur, how to spot them, and what strategy to employ, the first question that must be answered is, what is the correct mindset needed to succeed in such a rapidly changing world? This is the proper place to begin, because without the right frame of mind, both an individual and a business are destined to fail. Let's start with the word crisis. Now, Eli, in Chinese, the word crisis has two meanings. One of the definitions is danger. The other definition is opportunity. Now, what do you suppose is the correct lens to use if you want to move forward? Very simply stated, every existing problem gives rise to an opportunity to he or she that's able to solve it. So, if you look at a problem as an unsolved opportunity instead of lurking danger, your mission becomes proactive instead of reactive. Next, like all of us, my son, you are a business, Eli Incorporated. The reason that there are congruencies in the strategies that both you and a business must embrace is because empowering decision making is essential for you and a business to both profit and prosper. These decisions are tightly connected with the tendencies and directions determined by the marketplace. Remember this key point. The marketplace changes. The market remains the same. Perhaps I'd better explain that. Now, you know, Eli, there wasn't always a Netflix, but there were video stores. And there weren't always video stores, but there were movie theaters. You know, there wasn't always Snapchat, but there was the internet. And there wasn't always the internet, but there was the U.S. Postal Service. Now, do you see that the substance of what is delivered remains relatively constant, but the delivery system, or the specialization of that substance, or the improvement of the product itself, changes what the marketplace provides and how it provides it. However, the need that is to be fulfilled remains the same. Now, new innovations enter the market, changing the playing field and the rules, but not the market itself. This is what you call innovation and progression, and with each change comes opportunity. To identify such opportunity, you must not only understand what these systems are, but also recognize how they function, so that ultimately you can gauge where you fit into the mix. In order to do so, you must increase your awareness to your surroundings. Now, as an example, I was in a business meeting yesterday with about 7 people, and we were discussing a program that we wanted to put on. I suggested a particular old movie, and some of the more seasoned, that's a nice way of saying older, people had seen the movie and thought that our patrons would enjoy it. We couldn't think, though, of the name of the star of the movie. Immediately, 3 of the people in the meeting whipped out their cell phones and within seconds produced the answer. Do you see the pattern? In today's times, we've been conditioned to receive the answer in less time than it took to ask the actual question. Feeling lethargic? Get an energy drink. Need a date, a relationship, a product, an airline ticket, some takeout food, groceries, a movie, a TV series, even a car? You can find it online now. We are conditioned for speed and convenient delivery. Oh, we want the same things. The market is the same, but the marketplace mindset is the roadrunner on steroids. Beep beep. Solution? As always, the first question any business should ask itself is, why am I in business? What value do we provide to our customers? How can we add more value? How can we deliver it more effectively? Remember, the market still needs to have what you offer, but the marketplace may change the what is to be delivered to fulfill that need and the how it is to be delivered. Let's get some help from Pejman Ghadimi. He's the author of Third Circle Theory, and he tells us, the ownership of a retail business requires establishing value for a market today and then creating value for someone tomorrow. You need to build residual income rather than work for money income alone. A person can only do the same thing for so long without having any changes in motivation or increased profits. The real difference between Generation X and Generation Y as it comes to business is access to information and clients across a global platform rather than a local one. Even though this new global access exists and is in full play, very few people set their goals to take advantage of that. If you do, however, you'll see similar results to how Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn grew so quickly. They all used global resources to expand their brands and targeted the entire world as their marketplace. Innovation, Eli, is now easier than ever to bring to life as resources, labor, and client bases are worldwide. If your past experiences, leanings, and observations have always been of a conservative business, then you create a business for work. Even though you know it's possible, your mind tells you that creating a product that will innovate the world is simply not in your destiny to create. What that little voice is really saying to you is that you're not confident enough to take on such a responsibility. The real difference between goal setting and dreaming is the power of actions and the reactions that come from them. Now, many could argue that setting high goals for yourself is the same as somebody else's dreaming. When you just dream about an accomplishment rather than aspire to work towards it, it's because of the lack of confidence in yourself and your inability to reach it. You therefore simply envision a dream of possibilities, and your vision of yourself and your abilities certainly make you feel like it is unreachable and therefore makes you take no action towards it. And it remains a dream. Now, when you think of education, you must think of information gained rather than formal school-based programs. Curiosity feeds the need for answers. Our minds naturally seek answers to eliminate fear. Doubt is another way of saying you're afraid of making the wrong decision or afraid of what may happen as a result. Investigation is needed to make you feel empowered to remove an unknown element. This unknown element is the genesis of fear. So education equals information, but not necessarily formal schooling. Your selective ability to understand one industry sparks curiosity into an opposite industry. You're able to discover a world that others can't see because they don't have your perspective. Innovation across other platforms is easy once you possess the skill set. All you need is the information that you previously ignored because you didn't have any interest in it. Looking through a selective lens at a problem opens a new type of information for you. Now think about how you looked at your first job. How would you describe it? When you fast forward 4 jobs later, imagine how effective you would be at that first job at this time. You'd be better because your additional experiences made you more aware and more capable. This is why education cannot outweigh experience. By identifying the gap between education and experience and innovating through entrepreneurship, your progress greatly exceeds what happens from just working to be more efficient. Being productive means more than anticipating. It also means taking action to prevent, which keeps you from ending up on the wrong side of the fence. When you think about past bad experiences, you can probably easily identify those with whom you had reacted properly. But can you also reflect and understand those bad experiences that could have been avoided altogether, requiring no action? Had you instead taken action to prevent the situation or kept yourself from being in such a position? Decisions that you make are highly associated with how far you can see. When you accepted your first job offer, that was an easy decision. Now, in many cases, as you become more complicated, you must consider proximity to schools, real estate values, taxes, family, and on and on and on. Now, when you think ahead, you take a proactive stance on where you want your life to go. You start analyzing every decision to determine if it's going to help you to get to your ultimate destination, even if certain dislikes are clearly going to be part of the mix. Imagine how much harder you would work at your current job, Eli, if you knew for a fact that that particular role is the one that you were destined to fulfill long term. Being proactive is believing everything is in your control. Making a habit of taking ownership of your outcomes is an essential trait. You must take the approach of the driver and not the passenger. Instant gratification is a weakness, and it cannot be allowed in your life. Consistency and hard work lead to positive outcomes. Now, being consistent doesn't mean performing like a worker bee over and over without purpose. It's about how you think about life and the actions that you take to achieve a particular end. Consistency in your goals and in your thinking allows you to make sense of things. Making sense gives you perspective on what you are doing and how it is part of the big picture. Focus, continually re-examining your why, is essential to help you remain disciplined in your approach to success. Discipline gives you freedom to fine-tune and to create. Now, consistency comes from observing the traits and habits of those around you. Therefore, the members of your entourage, your mastermind group, and your posse deserve careful consideration. You must adopt the habit of chasing the victory of achievement and not the instant gratification of mere money attainment. This is the fuel that empowers your engine to reach its maximum productivity. It is this passion that gives birth to the saying, do what you love and you won't work a single day in your life. Love is an emotion evoked by passion. Therefore, spending all day doing something that you love means you are reinforcing your belief, so this never-ending domino effect of love, belief, and passion trigger one another until completion. You can't give up until the end is reached. This is a feeling experienced by very, very few people. This power sets you up for success at the highest level and gives you the mindset that you have no limitations. Once again, we're getting a lot of help from Pejman Ghadimi, author of Third Circle Theory. Okay, Eli, so what are our simple conclusions? The marketplace has been adjusted to encompass the entire world and not just the local neighborhood. Recognize that the market has been conditioned to expect speedy delivery, convenience, and quality. While it, the market, demands instant gratification, the 5%ers that succeed, both as individuals and companies, must embrace a broader view than those that they serve. This is another way of saying that the principles of success have remained constant in a world of rapidly changing technology. We, as both individuals and businesses, must create inspiring visions that motivate us to add a particular single value to those that we serve in business. We must visualize using a residual mindset. Now, Eli, your grandfather always filled his gas tank and had his car serviced at the same service station, the same gas station. When I was old enough and I got my driver's license, I was instructed in no uncertain terms to always fill up at Joe Harburger's. My dad had a relationship with Mr. Harburger. It didn't matter if his gas prices were a little higher than a neighboring gas station. There was a relationship of trust. Now, just as the universe does not pass judgment with its natural laws, it responds consistently without prejudice. It is prudent to pay attention to the prevailing winds that govern, here's my Boston accent, that govern our society commercially to ensure success without judgment. Let us add to that old adage that the only thing that remains constant in business is change, with these words that are equally true. Success principles will always remain the same. Start with a vision. Create a game plan that gets you to the starting line. Start, plan, do, review, adjust, and then repeat. Now, our thought for the day is from Brian Halligan. He says, and I quote, "People shop and learn in a whole new way compared to just a few years ago. So marketers need to adapt or risk extinction." And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.